Good afternoon, Germantown. I'm your mayor, Mike Palazzolo. Today, I'd like to give you an update and a briefing on COVID-19. Also, would like to, at this time, thank our community for practicing the safe measures that are necessary for our community to distance ourselves from this virus. You've done a great job, and right now is not the time to rest. Please continue the practices of safe distancing, good hygiene, washing your hands, covering your face in public, keeping 6 feet apart, and all the things that we've been practicing so well for the last 30 plus days. Chief Selberg will bring a message later this week on practicing those essential hygiene habits and other measures that will keep us safe moving forward. By this time, you've seen Governor Lee's address to the people of Tennessee announcing that the Tennessee economy would be soon reopening. I would like to also remind you that executive orders are still in place through the end of this month. Also, the federal government has brought forth guidelines as well. Those have to do with gating and looking at monitoring the virus and peaks as well and surges and also the declines as well. 3 phases have been identified in the federal plan. It's all very complex, and as you could imagine, it's a bit confusing. Right now, we're working as a city and as a region to look to see what recovery and reopening will look like for not only the Memphis metropolitan area, but for the city of Germantown. Again, as you're aware, Governor Lee made a specific point to allow those major metro areas in the state to begin to look at what is best and safe for those particular communities. They are areas that have concentrated areas of folks, and so those measures would be different than a rural format. So we're working on that right now. We are part of the regional task force, of which a work group has been created to hopefully allow the entire region to begin to define not what is essential or non essential, but how to define what is safe and what is unsafe at our retail establishments, our restaurants, and our merchants. This week, I'll be having a conference call with many of our locally owned restaurants and proprietors to better understand what it will take for restaurants to open in a safe environment. I'd also at this time like to thank you, the community, for reaching out to our first responders. You have been so thankful to their work protecting you. I'd also like to remind you that there are a lot of unsung heroes in this community. At our city, it's called General Services. In your company, it might be called custodial care or maintenance. All those folks that help sanitize our work areas and make it safe for us to be able to move around the workplace or in buildings throughout the community. We would be remiss if we did not thank our healthcare workers as they have worked and put literally their life on the line to protect and serve the well-being of all in this great region that is known as Memphis and in the city of Germantown. So we thank all those healthcare providers in the entire region. Also, I'd like to thank our Board of Mayor and Aldermen. Our aldermen have been very supportive. They're briefed daily, and then at the end of the week on Friday, they also have a summation briefing as well. We will make it through this together, Germantown. Right now, we're beginning the process to recover and reopen. There is more to come. This has just started, and we will brief you more as those things progress. As always, thank you for making Germantown your home.
Hello, I'm John Selberg. As you may know, I serve as Fire Chief and Emergency Manager for the City of Germantown. I wanted to give you a brief update on our activities to address the COVID-19 situation. The City of Germantown continues to address the needs of our community, including coordinating with our partners at the county, state, and national level. We have taken a lot of measures to limit the spread of this virus, and I thank each of you for the sacrifices you have made to help with this challenge. As you have heard from our President, Governor, and Mayor, these efforts have had a positive effect on controlling the virus. While we still see new cases of the virus, there are signs that it may be stabilizing. We hope that this will allow us to soon begin the process to return our community back to as close to normal as could be expected under these circumstances. This doesn't mean that the virus is eradicated, but rather that each of us is doing our part to limit its spread. We realize that COVID-19 will continue to be around, but our behavioral changes could allow us to begin to open up our community. Germantown is working closely with the other local government leaders to develop a strategy to open up our civic spaces and get our businesses back open. This will be done in phases based upon statistical evidence that we aren't going too fast that allows the virus to begin to spread. There will be phases for reopening different parts of our community and easing of the restrictions. Each phase will be dependent upon us meeting specific benchmarks, which include a downward trend of new COVID-19 cases, keeping the number of patients within the capacity of our healthcare system, testing to identify and contain any positive cases, and businesses taking proper measures to protect their customers and employees. You've already seen much of this being done in our businesses. This will include limiting how many people are inside their business to assure people can maintain 6-foot social distancing, providing protection for their employees, such as masks, assuring services are kept clean, allowing some employees to continue to work from home whenever possible to limit the chance of exposures within the workplace, and assuring that sick employees stay home. Us as citizens must also continue to take the necessary precautions to limit the spread of the virus. This includes not going out when sick, covering our coughs and sneezes, maintaining social distancing whenever possible, wearing a mask over our face when we're unable to maintain that 6-foot social distance, and following good hygiene practices, including washing our hands and keeping surfaces clean and sanitized. While we want to get our community open, this virus will remain a problem, at least until we have vaccines to control it. It's up to us to keep it in check so we can allow our society to return to normal. If we can't, we risk infecting more people and possibly more deaths. In addition to our efforts to open our businesses, we're also working hard to open our city facilities, including City Hall, our parks and sports fields, GPAC, the athletic club, the Great Hall, and the library. We have teams working to make this happen as soon as possible while assuring that you are protected. Our police, fire, public works, code enforcement officers, and inspectors continue to work each day to assure that our community is taken care of. They are taking precautions to protect themselves and our citizens. Our firefighters, who also staff our ambulances, are using protective apparel when treating patients, including masks, gloves, eye protection, and gowns as needed. They will also provide a mask for patients for their protection. A temporary overflow hospital is being provided at the old Commercial Appeal Building in Memphis, as well as an overflow emergency department established at the Memphis Fairgrounds in case our existing hospital EDs become overwhelmed. At this time, we're hopeful that we won't get to that point, but we must be prepared. We also continue to work closely with our senior housing facilities to support them. Each of them is working diligently to take care of their residents as they recognize the special challenge they have. I'm optimistic that we can begin to open our business community and return our community closer to normal. Many people say that it is the new normal. Well, folks, this isn't normal, and we want to get through this as soon as possible. Until a vaccine is available and we are able to protect our most vulnerable, we must continue to take necessary precautions to protect each other. Germantown has done a fantastic job, and I know we can do this together. Thank you.